Hi class, today we're going to be talking about pricing. And so of course pricing is a very important component of our marketing mix because it is what helps us to generate revenue. It's what helps us to turn a profit, and ultimately it's what helps us to keep our business operational. One of the things that I like about pricing in our marketing mix is that it is the most flexible element of the marketing mix. So once we've determined what product or service we are going to offer our customers, it can be extremely difficult to change that. Once we've determined the distribution channel we're going to use, that can be difficult to change. Once we have created a promotional mix, that can sometimes be difficult to change. However, with pricing, we can change pricing with the snap of a finger. So it is a very flexible element within this marketing mix. But again, because it is so vital to remaining competitive, remaining operational, we need to look at pricing very carefully. And so some of the things that are going to determine what we set the price of our product for is the product life cycle. So what stage in the product life cycle is our particular product in? Depending on what stage it's in, that's going to, determine where we may set our price. So for instance, if we're in the introductory stage of our particular product, we may usually set the price higher than we would. One of the reasons why we do this is because we're trying to recoup some of the money that we've already spent. So when we are creating that product, when we are testing that product, going through research and development and all that other stuff, we're spending money on a product that hasn't brought in any revenue. So when we're actually ready to commercialize that particular product, release it maybe possibly nationally, we may set that price a little bit higher because we want to regain some of that money back. Other things that we'll have to determine as well is the elasticity of the demand of that particular product. And so sometimes when we're introducing a product for the first time, it's going to be higher. So every time we see that new iPhone come out or the new, Samsung Galaxy, the price is higher than, the previous model because it has new features. It has, new bells and whistles. Not only that, but there are those people who are going to buy these products fresh off the manufacturer's conveyor belt because they want to be one of the first to purchase that particular product. It's the same way maybe when we release a new gaming system. The first time it comes out, the hardcore gamers are going to buy it because their demand for that particular product is high regardless of the price. So we try to capture all that revenue while we can. As the product moves into the growth stage, prices generally begin to stabilize. They begin to stabilize because we have competitors entering into the market. And so when we have competitors entering into the market, we usually have to do one of two things: make the product better or lower its price. And that's the way we're able to keep up with that competition. The other thing that we see happening in this growth phase is that more and more people have access to our particular product. More and more people are buying our particular product. And so we can, keep the price as is to try to bring in as much revenue as possible. Or we can, lower our prices because we have access to a larger customer base. When we reach the maturity stage, our prices begin to decrease. Competition is becoming even more intense at this particular stage. When we increase the price of a product at this stage, we're not increasing it because demand tells us to do so. We're increasing it usually because costs associated with making this product are telling us to do so. The other thing that we see in the maturity stage is that a price decrease does not really have an effect on demand. So if we decrease the price, demand is going to stay relatively the same. As we move into the decline stage, what we're going to see there is we're going to see even further price decreases until at some point the product may become worthless. And so right now, if I was trying to manufacture and sell a VHS player or even a DVD player, I probably couldn't pay somebody to take one of those things off my hand because those products are in the decline stage. They're becoming obsolete. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to spend money on them. So again, product life cycle is something that we're going to look at to help us determine where we should set the price for our particular products. Again, other things that help us determine price of products are going to be competition. What's the competition doing? Do we want to be lower than the competition so that our consumers feel like they're getting a deal, that they're getting value? Or do we want to place our price higher than the competition so that consumers think that they're getting a better quality product? And so we're always going to look to see what the competition is doing. Other things that we may do as well is price matching. And so if I'm a local grocery store, I may say something like, bring in an ad from Albertsons, and if they're selling a gallon of milk for $1, you know what? We're going to match that price. And we do that in the hopes that customers come in to get more than just that gallon of milk. Maybe we're losing money on the milk, but the customer also bought bread and lettuce and ice cream and ground beef. So we made up some of that loss by them purchasing other things. So sometimes we can do price matching. Other things that help determine price is customer loyalty. And so we may see this with something as simple as a punch card. Come in for 10 cups of coffee, and on your 11th coffee, you're going to get it free. People love that kind of stuff. It encourages them to be loyal. It encourages them to always get their cup of coffee with you. True, at some point you have to give away a cup of coffee, but hey, you sold 10 other cups of coffee. So it ends up balancing out. Our distribution strategy is also going to affect the price that we set. It's going to affect whether or not we're able to offer free shipping, if we're going to have to add prices to shipping, processing, handling, how quickly we can get some of these products in. Of course, the internet is also going to determine price. So if I'm standing in the middle of Target and they have a Keurig for $60, it can be very, very easy for me to get on my smartphone and go to Walmart.com, Kohl's.com, Amazon.com and see what they have, a Keurig priced for. And I may be standing in the middle of a Target and then I buy the Keurig on Amazon. That's something that happens all the time. And so we need to be mindful of, what some of these online retailers are setting their prices for. It's almost impossible to keep match with some of the prices that we see on Amazon. The one thing in this example that Target would have going for it is I could take that Keurig home right now, whereas, I'd have to wait for it for a couple days if I got it from Amazon. And then, of course, the promotional strategy that we're using is going to help us determine our price as well. So is price transparency. So we want to be clear and upfront about the prices that we are, setting our products for. We don't really want to have hidden prices, hidden fees, anything like that. We do see the demands of our large customers affecting prices. So Walmart is someone that can tell a manufacturer what to sell their products for. So if I'm manufacturing something and I want it available in a Walmart store, I'm going to have to sell it for them for the price they choose. And, as a manufacturer, you want your products in Walmart because so many consumers, shop there. And then, of course, when people are looking at the relationship of price to quality. And so if I'm going to go into I guess they're not there anymore, but if I would to have gone into a Payless shoe store, I'm going to expect the quality to be a little lower. I'm going to expect the price to be a little lower, compared to if I was going into a Neiman Marcus and I was getting a pair of Louboutin shoes or Jimmy Choo shoes. I'm going to expect those prices to be really high, but I'm going to expect the quality to be really, really high as well. And so, in certain instances, you pay for what you get up into a certain point, and then beyond that certain point, what you're doing is you're paying for a name or you're paying for a label. Quick story, I was in a Neiman Marcus in San Antonio, and they had a shirt, and it was a Gucci shirt, and it said Gucci very plainly across the front, and it was just a plain cotton t-shirt, and it was $900, which is totally bananas to me. But that cotton shirt was probably no different than the $20 cotton shirt that you would get at Hollister, except for the name. So at that point, you're not paying for, a shirt that's indestructible or that's gonna, cure your, high blood pressure. You're paying for a name. And so we see that sometimes too. Sometimes people will pay more for something simply to say that they paid more for it. So we look at how we want to set a price on a particular product. One of the things that we want to do is we want to establish pricing goals. So what is the goal that we have with this particular product? Are we looking to increase revenue? Are we looking to increase profit? Are we looking to increase market share? Are we looking to increase customer loyalty? So depending on, any of those goals, maybe we have a combination of 2 or 3 or 4 of those goals. That's going to help determine what we do with the price of this particular product. Then, of course, what we also have to do is we have to estimate how much demand this particular product has. So the more demand it has, the higher we're going to be able to set costs. Then we need to look at what it's going to cost us to manufacture and promote this particular product. And then, of course, we always have to keep profits in mind. Sometimes profits can have a negative connotation. The word profit, sometimes, there's greed associated with that particular word, but we need profits in order to stay operational. Then we need to choose a pricing strategy that's going to help us determine a base price. So with our pricing strategy, we may do something like price penetration, where we offer a product low to, stimulate demand, stimulate interest, and then we raise the price of the product over time. So it may be something like an introductory pricing. So we can get DirecTV for $19 a month for a whole year. And then after that, the price is going to get raised. Or we may do something like price skimming, where we offer a product that's really, really high in price, and we're trying to capture the people who are going to buy it no matter what. We see this a lot in our electronics. When a new Xbox comes out, when a new iPhone comes out, there's going to be people that are going to buy that product no matter what the cost is. So we set that price really high, we get all of them, and then we start lowering the price in hopes of reaching more and more customers. Then, of course, we can fine-tune the price with a bunch of different tactics that we'll talk about in the next few slides. And then ultimately, it's going to lead to the right price. And again, as I already mentioned, the cool thing about price is that we can adjust it very quickly. We want to look at also the legality of our pricing strategy. And so we want to make sure that there's not unfair trade practices that are being, involved. There are states that have laws that say that we can't offer, X amount of products for a loss. And so we see those. Price fixing is something else that we need to, be mindful of. So price fixing is when 2 competitors simultaneously agree to set their products at the same price. And so what that does is it's a detriment to our customers. We also have price discrimination, which would be offering, the same product at different prices to different customers. And then we may have predator pricing. And so predator pricing is when a large corporation, or depending on where you're located, offers very, very low prices in order to get rid of all the competition. And then when the competition is gone, they raise the prices through the roof. So these are things that we need to keep in mind as well, that there are laws associated with how we price our products. And then we look at, fine-tuning the price of our products. We can offer discounts for quantity. And so we see this oftentimes in places like Bath and Body Works. Buy 3, get 3 free. And so it encourages us to buy more, because the more we buy, the more we save. Sometimes if you're using cash, you might get a discount instead of like running your card. Or sometimes even now what I'm noticing is that if you run your card, they charge you like a processing fee of 2 to 3% to run your card. So using cash is going to get you some of those discounts. We see seasonal discounts as well. And so, after Christmas, if you go to Walmart or Target on December 26th, you're going to get a Christmas tree for 50% off or maybe even more. At the end of the summer, you can probably get a pool floaty for about $1. So we're going to see some of those discounts. Gambled price discounts might be something like going into JCPenney and you spin a wheel and whatever it lands on, that's, the amount of cash back you get, or that's the percentage of discount that you get. We also see promotional allowances that take place between the manufacturer and the retail outlet. And so they may give you a rebate. There may be coupons, 0% financing, and maybe even free shipping. This is all a way to adjust and modify prices. And so pricing is, a very important part of our promotional mix. It's flexible. There's lots of things that we can do with pricing. And so if you have any questions about pricing or you want to provide any kind of feedback or examples, I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.